Hello everybody, Nintendo Freak here, and I'm bringing you a top 10 list of my favorite locations in The Legend of Zelda. So, without a further ado, let's get going. What's the first thing you think of Link's Awakening? The awesome adventure? Or the giant egg? Whatever it is, Tall Heights would have been a great candidate for this list. I decided to go with Animal Village because it's a town of furries. No, it's because there's like so many cool characters in there. There's like bunnies, what else is there? There's sexual hookers. No, not in the American version at least. But it's just an overall good town with a light-hearted music. It's a really good, so that's why it earns my number 10 spot. A Link to the Past doesn't take me back to the past. I was originally gonna choose Misery Mire as my number 9 spot, but I decided there was something that stood out to me more than Misery Mire did, and that is the Thieves Town in the Dark World. It's one of the coolest areas in the Dark World, in my opinion at least, and it's home to the level 4 dungeon, which is probably the most confusing dungeon in the game besides Misery Mire's dungeon. But that's why it gets my number 9 spot. Majora's Mask, arguably one of the darkest Legend of Zelda games in the Zelda franchise. It's home to many great locations, such as Clocktown, and you're probably wondering, why isn't Clocktown a number 8? Well, I'll tell you why, because I found something better than Clocktown. You're like, what could be better than Clocktown? Well, this is my own personal opinion, and I think Romani Ranch is better than Clocktown, because there's all these cool characters there, and there's this one of my favorite side quests there. It's Them Quest, and if you fail it, then you'll feel horrible because a day later after you fail it, you'll see Romani. She's there brainwashed, just miserable. Like, you feel miserable for failing it. But to even get there, you need a powder keg, like a frickin' powder keg. Well, that's why it gets my number 8 spot. This is a weird number 7 spot, but it's the cloud in the sky in Skyward Sword. One of the reasons why I put this on my list, it was actually going to be higher, but due to the editing software crashing, lost like most of my progress. But anyway, it was going to be higher, but I realized this isn't really technically a location. Guess it can be classified as a location, but anyway, I decided that this should be lower because it doesn't have as many good things as future spots. So anyway, the place is really cool with all this cool landscape on the islands. It has like some of my favorite mini games that you could find here, like / side quests. It's just an overall really good place, and it's actually a good spot to go practice your maneuvering skills on your bird. So anyway, that's why it gets my number 7 spot. Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time is one of the most critically acclaimed Legend of Zelda games out there, and it's also considered by some people to be one of the best video games out there. Damn, that's a bold statement. And it's home to many great locations, such as Lake Hylia, Kakiri Forest, but I decided for this list to put Kakariko Village on this list because it's just really cool to go around. It has one of my favorite soundtracks in the Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. There's just so many people to go around to talk to. There's also, it's also really fun to be Spider-Man and just hook shot to roofs. And then it also has one of the creepiest dungeons in the game, the Shadow Temple. Hyrule Castle is a really pretty place to look at, and it's also fitting to put some Twilight Princess footage in this top 10 because Twilight Princess HD is right around the corner. Woo! It's not only just a good place to look at, it has a good dungeon, and it's also a cool place to explore and also practice the sniping skills of Link's crossbow. The Wind Waker. Back when it was first released back in 2002, basically nobody liked it, except for me. All you Zelda fans out there, you should have liked it while you had the chance. So anyway, the reason why I put the Outset Island so high, it's really, really pretty. It's just so fun to just go around and just explore the place. There are many other great islands, but I chose Outset Island, obviously. And it also it's the place where you start. You wake up from your birthday nap thingy. It's just really, really pretty, especially in the HD version. So that's why it gets my number 4 spot. Taking my number 3 spot is the Desert Mesa. It's really cool just going around just as a wolf or riding the boar that is there. Just riding around there, looking for Poes, rupees and stuff. And then you stumble on the Bokoblin camp. It's crossbow training time, or Link's crossbow training time. Let's go. You gotta be stealthy. You gotta get a barrel like from Metal Gear. And then you finally take out all the Bokoblins there. Then you find King Bokoblin. And then it's on. Take him out and ride the boar to safety. And then you get to Arbiter Grounds. And not to mention this glitch, I just keep climbing on this thing. I did it 3 times just because, and every single time it just loaded me out of bounds, so then it just killed me. So that's just something interesting to point out. taking my number 2 spot is Skyloft. Wait a second, you can't use 2 locations from the same game in the top 10? Sure I can, it's my top 10, and if you have a problem with it, just type your top 10 in the comment section below. It's just feels so alive in Skyloft, especially when you go to the bazaar. Every character just comes to life. It's really awesome. And especially when you go to the sparring hall, it just feels so great with the motion controls. Some of you are like, the motion controls suck. I didn't have too much of a problem with the motion controls. There was a few times that the motion controls bugged out. But other than that, it was really good. The motion controls. And also, Link could sit on the toilet. Sitting on the toilet? Wait, Link, don't fall asleep on the toilet. Come on, Link. You shouldn't fall asleep on... Wait, is he getting hearts back from sitting on the toilet? I guess it goes to show taking a dump really does help. My number 1 spot goes to Snow Peak Ruins. You go in and you just feel a sense of helplessness. This huge world. And the music is just awesome. You just feel so hopeless. And you're supposed to get the scent from the reek fish to make your way through there. It's just so you could go up to where the Yeti is, just so you could challenge him to a sled off. No, just race him down the mountain on a frozen leaf. But when you get up to the door, you just see how big his hands are, and you're like, oh crap, is he gonna be a boss? Is he gonna be a badass boss? He turns out to be just a friend. But you race him down to his mansion. I think that is really cool. So, this is Nintendo Freak signing off. And I'll see you in the next top 10. Goodbye.